So I'm going to do a full analysis of this particular data set here, which happens to be about pieces of bacon taken by people at a breakfast buffet. We're going to do the median and quartile analysis first, talk a little bit about outliers, and then I'm going to erase it all off for you and do the mean and standard deviation version. So to start off here, the first thing I need to identify is how many data points I have. So I have 4 rows and 5 columns. That would be a total of 20 data points. So n is 20, n for the number of data points. Then I'm going to have to chop it up into my quartiles. So if I take 20 data points and I chop them into 4 little buckets, that's going to be 5 data points each. So there will be 5 data points in the first quartile, 5 in the second, 5 in the third, and 5 in the fourth, which means that my Q1 value will be halfway between my 5th and 6th point. My Q2 is going to be halfway between my 10th and 11th. And my Q3 is going to be halfway between my 15th and 16th. So if I start counting up there, I'm going to switch my markers because this one doesn't seem to be working anymore. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So my 5th data point is a 3, my 6th is a 3, so my Q1 value is 3. My 10th data point will be a 4, my 11th is a 4, so Q2, or the median, is 4. My 15th data point is a 4, and my 16th is a 5, so halfway between 4 and 5 would be 4.5, so my Q3 is 4.5. So this lets me calculate an interquartile distance by taking Q3 and subtracting Q1, and 4.5 minus 3 is 1.5. So far so good. One of the topics that we need to cover here is whether a data point is an outlier, and you may be looking at that list of numbers over there and thinking about your own behavior at a breakfast buffet, and when you're walking by that delightful steam tray full of bacon, perhaps you are the person who only takes 2 slices, or 3, or 4, or 5, but then there's always this one, the one who shows up and takes an entire clawful of bacon and puts it on their plate. So the question here is, while that person is obviously a little greedy, are they mathematically outside of this set? Would I be able to look at this data and say that 8 doesn't belong, so I'm going to erase it? That happens sometimes. You get a data point in there that's something crazy. Either somebody answers a question wrong, right? Like they write their phone number in instead of their gross annual income, which is a big difference. Or maybe you just sampled somebody improperly. I mean, you meant to ask the ages of children in primary school and you accidentally got a teacher answering, and you're wondering why you have a 58-year-old senior kindergarten student. You know, it's possible. Anyway, so is this number so far outside of the set that I can discard it legally and with justification? So as you may have picked up in the videos that you're watching in the Khan Academy content, they suggested that if a data point is more than 1.5 times the interquartile distance away from the median, then it's considered too far out to be part of this set. So that's a lot to sort of roll around in your brain there. So first off, I want to take this number, my IQD, and I want to multiply it by 1.5. So 1.5 times my IQD happens to equal 1.5 times 1.5, which happens to be 2.25. So if I were to go from my median this far, either up or down, then I will have gone so far away from the median that any points beyond that can be considered outliers. So if you were to ask yourself, just how far out will I have to go in order to find that? Then, well, I'm going to do my high outlier. On the high end, I would have my median plus this funny number here, and I get 6.25. So any data point that is higher than 6.25 would be considered an outlier. So if we look, all of these people are okay, except Dr. 8 here, who is gorging on bacon in a statistically unprecedented kind of way. So you would have some justification to throw that data point out of your set if you wanted to. You don't have to, but you could, and you would have a reason. When everyone asked you, why did you fudge your numbers, you would say, I didn't fudge them. I used this particular rule to find out that anything higher than this number is an outlier, so I struck it from my set. If we're going to check the high end, we should probably check the low end, so let's do that there. The low end would be go from your median and subtract this number, and I'm going to get negative 1.75. Now, negative 1.75 is below this number, so it also doesn't make any sense because this data is about bacon, and you can't have unbacon or negative bacon or a bacon debt, right? That doesn't make any sense. Before I get myself confused, let's stop talking about bacon. But this is the number that I can use to justify low-end outliers, and if I look, there's nothing past negative 1.75. So as far as the median and quartile analysis goes, the only outlier I found in this set was an 8.